All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and I got some advice for do-it-yourselfers when they get into trouble and have to take their car to the shop. So what brought this up today was I had a customer come in with a Honda Element window in op. I won't get into the fact that the service writer did not give me any information because I got to the car. The window was in the back of the Element. The car was, well, almost completely disassembled. And so I had to, go through and figure out what he'd done, where everything went, etc., etc. And he'd replaced his own regulator, but after he replaced the regulator, it still didn't work. When you do that, all you're doing is bringing me a partially disassembled vehicle is then I have to go through and, partially reassemble it, plug things in, because he had literally had nothing plugged in. So, had to remount the motor, because otherwise it was just hanging on one screw. The regulator was hanging on one screw. So I had to remount the regulator, I had to plug in the motor, and I had to remove the switch to complete the circuit to start testing. And what I found, the cancel switch was on his driver's side. So the window didn't work. That's what a cancel switch does. Problem is I don't know if that's actually his problem or if that was a symptom of something else, whether he failed or, the window won't work unless you plug in the switch, period. It won't. It goes through that switch to the motor. All I could do was, put it all back together as best I could, figure out what screws went where, etc., because all I got was a pile. One of his trim pieces, apparently he broke it off, getting it off, and it's a piece that you don't have to remove to pull the window, which I don't even pull the windows on those. I just tape them up all the way and then remove the regulator. But, he removed the window, but he broke it, and I had to spend, way too much time figuring it out. He bought the wrong replacement. It's for the driver's side, not the passenger side. And I'm like, why won't this thing go in? What? So my advice, I know sometimes it's not possible, but especially when you have a technician diagnosing a drivability issue or, a problem with a, thing like a window motor or something like that, reassemble as much as you can. Have it back to factory as you can. The door window the door window issue, fine, leave the door panel off. You don't have to put that back on, but the rest of it needs to be assembled. Because guess what? I have to charge him to reassemble his window. That's how it works. So if a car comes in with a drivability complaint and, the fuel pump access doors open and fuel pump's not installed properly, I have to fix that. So do your best to put it as close to original condition as you can, because anything I have to do reassembling the vehicle, you're going to get charged for. That window regulator, no, it wasn't a huge deal to reassemble it, but I've had situations where that fuel pump, I've literally had a car towed in, no start, and before I could start diagnosing the actual no start, I had to reinstall the fuel pump just to start testing. And there's other cases where, not a matter of, I got to pull this part out, and be open and honest, please, about the things you've done. As much information as you can give me. I put a new this on, I put a new that on, I did this, I did that. Let us know, because all that information helps. Return it as close to factory as you can before you bring it to us, because the more we have to reassemble to figure out your issue, the more it costs you. I need a fuel pump. Let's use that fuel pump example. The fuel pump was disassembled. Well, I got to put it back in to make sure it's not sucking air trying to test. Oh, I've got a, by the way, the fuel pump issue, he was right about the fuel pump. He didn't notice the burnt wiring harness going to the pump. Anyway, so it's really important that you bring it as close back to factory as you can, because anything we have to reassemble, we are going to have to charge you for. So just a little FYI, don't mind dealing with, do-it-yourselfers that get in over their head, but you have to remember, we got to charge you for everything we do. So when we have to fix stuff that you've fixed, it can get expensive. So put it back together right. So as always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.